Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday, or as we call it here, Ticker Thursday, as you guys know. Thanks for being here. We have another poll this morning that's rolling. We actually polled people over the past, month and a half or so, if people enjoy the polls that we do before the Set the Market begins, and it was a very decisive outcome. People enjoy those little polls. So we are going to keep doing them. In fact, we have a lot of really cool stuff that's going to happen in 2026. We had, I don't know if you guys have noticed, hopefully you've noticed that we've had a big push here on YouTube over the past, actually 24 months now or so. And I think we're starting to really get the hang of it. We're starting to see how to communicate with the crowd here on YouTube. And it's been a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to next year as we really expand upon this whole experience. We currently here on YouTube have obviously the morning call here, Set the Market, Monday through Thursday. Then we have our YouTube videos. We have YouTube Shorts, which are a bit more fun. YouTube posts, right? So those are like little charts I tend to post throughout the week. We actually started a membership, which we're going to launch in January as well, sort of a fan thing. And so we're excited about all this, and we are just beginning with sort of making sure that there's a better way to get educated and follow the markets online, because there's a lot of crap out there in terms of people spinning narratives and coming up with stories and just a whole bunch of fairy tales, as opposed to actually having a process in the market. We are all about having a process. Thanks for being here. Again, good morning. It is Ticker Thursdays here at thestudytrader.com. Thanks for being here. If you've never been here before, this is our Set the Market morning call. We're going to spend the next probably 10, 15 minutes or so going through some of the things on my notepad. I was just looking at the calendar again this morning, as you do, right? And obviously, a week from today, it's Christmas Day. So you can basically count the days here. We've got essentially today, tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday as trading days, and after that, really, the year, as far as I'm concerned, for the most part, is over. From a volume perspective, it's already starting to thin out. Do keep in mind, tomorrow is a pretty important day. We have triple witching options expiration day, so basically that means that options are going to expire on stocks and ETFs and futures and stuff like that. So that could be a pretty decisive moment. So that's that. If you have any questions about tickers, stocks you want us to look at, we're going to get to those in a few minutes. I just have a couple of main points I want to go through and look at two specific stocks. So please make sure that you have your tickers ready. We're going to take a look at those for you in just a few minutes. Let's start with Micron Technology, which is the stock that you can see here on your screen. This is an intraday chart. I'm bringing it up because it's an important company. And quite frankly, I'm going to be really interested to see how this stock reacts today to the earnings report. If you look at this intraday 5-minute chart, you will notice that yesterday, obviously after the close, the company reported earnings. The stock here pre-market is up about 15% overnight, which gets it to just around $260 pre-market. To give you a little bit of perspective on what that looks like, $260 brings it more or less back right down to the all-time highs, right back up to the all-time highs. So essentially, when MU opens for trading here in about 20 minutes, we are expecting it to open up trading for the day right back at the all-time highs, or very close to the all-time highs, which is, again, basically there, right? So the reason I'm bringing it up is because, again, it's an important stock, but also I think it's really important to see how this company is going to react, how the stock reacts today, because we've seen some opposite moves, right? So you look at, this is obviously a semiconductor company, so it's right in the midst of the semiconductor and AI bubble stuff that we have. You look at Broadcom, which reported its earnings about a week ago or so, and of course that stock went straight down, and it's now sitting precariously close to a point where it might where it might actually fill the gap, right? So I think these stocks are really, really important to watch today. So if you are in Trade Ops, which is our members area for on Slack, which looks like this here, we're going to be watching MU very closely today, which is why I want to bring it up here. This is the overnight price action right up to more or less now, actually. So you can see there hasn't really been any pullback. It's been a more or less a one-way road, which leads me to believe that it's largely algorithmically driven, which of course is not an amazingly new thing to hear. Obviously, everything is algorithmically driven. So it's going to be interesting to see how this stock reacts today. So I'd watch this one very closely. Speaking of momentum, which is what this is, we are doing a momentum session and teaching people how to trade momentum and sort of the whole theory behind momentum. I think it's tomorrow. In fact, Christian put the link into the chat box. I'm going to quickly show it to you. So if you want to learn more about trading momentum, how all that works, you also get actually access. If you sign up for that webinar, it's a free webinar, you, as a bonus, will also receive access to our Rethinking the S&P 500 ebook. It just came out, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. And it's essentially some pretty big predictions for 2026. So if you want to get access to that, obviously totally free. You just sign up for the webinar that we're doing on Friday about teaching how we use momentum trading strategies. So anyway, so that's what's going on with Micron Technology. So I would watch this one very, very closely today. The other reason to watch it very closely is because semiconductors, of course, look exactly the same. So semiconductor stocks over the past couple of months have actually been putting in what could be, and I say could because it's not confirmed, a potential double top. It's way too early to tell, and I would never go out on a limb and say that this is happening. They remain in a bullish trend. So if you're using our market over trend following process, you'll notice that the semiconductor stocks are still bullish trend. At the same time, there are stocks that are looking a lot weaker underneath the surface. So, for example, NVIDIA, which we have been highlighting here for the past few days, we talked about NVIDIA being one of those stocks that's actually bearish momentum. So NVIDIA is also tracing out this potential head and shoulders pattern. Again, we haven't broken down yet, but it's bearish momentum. So that's what's going on there. So that's MU. And again, if you want to learn more about momentum trading, just join us in the webinar. Totally free that we're doing on Friday, and you'll also get access to the Big Bold Predictions ETF ebook that we just came out with a couple of weeks ago. So we'll see you there. Now, let's go through another stock, and this one's important. I want to spend a bit more time on this one, and that's Oracle. So the thing about Oracle to understand, in our view, is to understand where is the stock trading in the big picture and where is it in the near term. There's a lot of people that are just now waking up to the fact that Oracle has dropped 48, 50% off the highs, to which I say you need to process. If you just now the people that are just now waking up to the fact that the stock is down 50% since this September chart chasing, basically fake news rally, you're just late to the game. You need a process that you can trust. Now, two things about Oracle that I think are critically important. First of all, before we get to the momentum, let's understand that Oracle, despite all the issues over the past, concerns around the past few weeks now around them, not getting funding pulled for one of the key data centers that they've promised. The stock is actually, it's definitely not in a bearish trend, right? It's in a neutral trend right now. So if you look at the green background color, so this stock turned into a bullish trend. Now, trend, as you guys know, is typically multi-quarter plus time frames. So the green background color said buy Oracle for an investment time horizon in July, and that trend ended about 2.5 weeks ago in early December. It then went back to bullish trend for a few days, and then now right back to neutral. So basically, this stock is no longer in a bullish trend. It doesn't mean it's a short. It's definitely not a stock I would buy here from an investment time horizon perspective, so multi-quarter plus. From a momentum perspective, this is where it gets really interesting. Okay. from a momentum perspective, people that are now getting bearish in Oracle, and I can understand why, just know that momentum shifted all the way back on October 21st, which is like 35% to go, right? So you just one is kind of late to the party. If one is just waking up now to this, momentum shifted, what did I say, October? Yeah, that's like 2 months ago. That's a long time ago, right? So if you're looking to catch some of these moves earlier, you need a momentum strategy, right? And if you want to know what the long-term trend is, you need a trend following strategy. And when you combine all that, you can actually call yourself a trader and investor because you have a process, right? So that's what's going on with Oracle, to which I say, let's move on to Ticker Thursdays. I know that's always an exciting day for many of you. So if you have some tickers you would like us to look at, let's do so. We can look at the S&P 500 as well, of course, if you would like. AGNC Investment Corp. Never heard of it, but let's see what's going on. It's in a bullish momentum move right now. AGNC. So this is, who is asking this? Matt Miller. So this is for Matt or at Matt Miller 4285. Momentum shifted to the positive. It's a $10 stock, so you got to be a bit careful with $10 stocks. But momentum shifted to the positive on the 21st of November, and momentum continues positive. I think the bigger question is, where is this stock from a trending perspective? Like, what's the trend following trend? And here you can see the bullish trend. So again, this is multi-quarter at least. Started in October, and it remains in a bullish trend. So you've got bullish momentum from a trading perspective and bullish trend. I think this is a pretty dangerous stock to trade for what it's worth. Investment, I don't know the company. It looks way too choppy, so I'd be a bit careful with something like that. All right, next ticker is American Battery Technology Company, right? So clearly this makes sense why people would be interested in this name. Well, first of all, let's, from a trend following perspective, right? So that's the longer term. The bullish trend started in July. We still have a bullish trend. The stock is so far up about 80%. So the trend is very, very bullish. And I understand why people are asking about this name. It's a chart chaser name. So what you really need to know is probably what's momentum. And ABAT from a momentum perspective is in a chop zone. Actually, no, it's now bearish momentum. I'll show you. So here we go. All right, so ABAT had a bearish momentum move start. So that the signal made about the 21%. Then it had a buy signal momentum that didn't work at all. And then we had a sell signal, and so far ABAT is down about 9%. So again, really dangerous stock to trade, $3 stock. But I would say the next move is probably closer to, the low threes, $3.20 or even $3 if this new momentum from 2 days ago sustains. Choppy stock, so I'd be a bit careful with this, but that's the analysis on that. Industrial stocks, yep, I'll show you this. So industrial stocks I have to show you this from a trend following perspective, right? So industrial stocks are actually in a bullish trend, right? So this is the industrial sector as a sector and as a trend, right? So the multi-quarter. We actually really like industrials going into the new year. So again, multi-quarter view. From a near-term perspective, industrials are basically in a chop zone. There's not a whole lot to do on an individual XLI, so I'd be a bit careful there. Yeah, so that's XLI as that just went through here a second ago. Next one is for Doug. He wants to look at PALL. So PALL, for those people who don't know, is obviously palladium. If you are a part of our Heat Seeker and ETF Silo Pro program, you will know, and we've made a big deal about this, that we like palladium a lot. In fact, palladium turned into a bullish trend. Again, that's your multi-quarter time horizon at least. By the way, people always ask me, what am I constantly drinking? This is a Nespresso. So we like these little Nespresso capsules. It's the coffee. And so that's what I have a couple of these a day. Let's see here. So palladium. Okay, palladium is in a bullish trend, right? That bullish trend started in mid-July. It's now up about 30%. We even had a trend following buy signal, right? That's a swing trade within a trend. From a momentum perspective, which again typically is the question here on YouTube, from a momentum perspective, the latest momentum signal triggered on the 28th of November. We have reached the free profit target already, and now we're using the trailing stop on momentum. So since the buy signal, Palladium's now up about 12-13%. Then we'll look at Disney. Real quick, let me go over on this. Disney is in bullish trend, but it's brand new in a bullish trend, so I'd be a bit careful. We want to give it at least 5 days. I think it's a bit early from a trending perspective. And from a momentum perspective, Disney is bullish momentum. So Disney is bullish momentum. The next upside target for Disney for momentum is $114.80. The trailing stop is around $108.50. Two more. One is AMP. Excuse me. It's Ameriprise. A little choppy, but it's bearish. It's bearish trend actually. Okay, so I probably wouldn't do too much there from an investment perspective. Certainly not yet. And from a momentum perspective, AMP I'm sure is bullish momentum. Yeah, there you go. From a momentum perspective, the buy signal we got came on December 5th. The stock then reached the free profit target, so this should now be in a free trade. And the trailing stop is currently at 475, which is above the entry point, so a free trade there. And then Steve is asking, what about silver? I'm not really good at making predictions of where something goes by a certain time frame, but what I can tell you is that silver is in a bullish trend, which we've made a big deal about this for, 18 months now. That trend really, for the most part, started in March of 2024. So far, silver is up 173%. So the trend remains bullish, and you can see we've had some trend following swing trades along the way. And then from a short-term perspective, we have silver. From a momentum perspective, I should say, silver remains in bullish momentum. So the latest signal came on the 10th of November. So far, free profit targets, so we're in a free trade. The signal is it's up 31%. So I don't know. Look, the trailing stop is around the low 50s, 53. So I don't know where silver is going to go. I have no idea, but I do know that we had a valid signal. We have a trailing stop in place, and so yeah. So that's what we like there. And then Matt is asking, I'm harvesting the high dividend on AGNC. That's why I'm asking. Yeah, the thing is, the reason why AGNC, and I'm going to quickly just show you this. Okay. So the reason why AGNC has a high dividend, there's a reason for that. Okay. So, I actually just got off a phone call. I had 2 phone calls this morning with a couple of Blue Marlin, one Blue Marlin client, one Blue Marlin prospect. That's our investment advisory firm. And both of them came with these high dividend portfolios. And I always like to make people aware that when something pays a high dividend, there's a reason why it pays a high dividend, right? There's actually risk associated with that high dividend. And typically that high dividend is not appropriately priced, meaning the risk one takes to clip that coupon, that dividend is usually not appropriately being rewarded. So anyway, thank you, Steve. It's great to have you here. We'll wrap it up here for the week, actually, for Set the Market. We're probably going to be back here on Monday, maybe on Tuesday. We'll see how slow things get for 2 more Set the Markets, and then we'll shut it down for the year for the Set the Market. But all of you guys that are part of our Trade Ops room, we'll see you over there in a few minutes. Of course, if you want to learn about momentum trading, we are doing our weekly educational session, our strategy session tomorrow, Friday, December 19th at 12 p.m. So thank you all for being here. Please give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to the channel. It allows you to get updated in real time when we go live with our analysis. Thank Thanks for being here. Have a great rest of the week. Again, if you're a Trade Ops member, we'll see you over there. And if you want to learn about momentum trading, we'll see you tomorrow in our educational session for the week. Be well.